Hello and happy Sunday. This is Kelly with IfYouHaveAnEgg.com, and today is Sunday, July the 31st. It's the last day of July. Tomorrow is August, in case you didn't know that. I'm going to try and get caught up here with you on Facebook. But hello and happy Sunday, everybody. If you're brand new, please do let us know that you're new, because we would love to give you a shout out. Everyone here is so welcoming. Whoa, so loud again. So loud again. But hello and happy Sunday, everybody. Hot here in East Tennessee. Hello, John from home base. Karen and I just barely missed a thunderstorm. Hello, Trish from California. Good to see you. And hello, Sherry. We just barely missed a wicked thunderstorm. Hopefully they're done, because I don't want to get knocked off tonight. But hello and happy Sunday, everybody. Again, hello, Deanna. Good to see you. This is Sunday, July the 31st. Last day of July. August starts tomorrow. Got a little bit of insider information about what's coming up after August. Just kidding. It's things that you can find out yourself. Hello, Lisa. Hot and humid in Arkansas. Hello, Elaine. Yeah, it's hot and humid here. I mean, look at my hair. Hello, Sandra from Neiman's Ferry. Happy Sunday. I mean, look at this. What even causes that? What even causes your hair, hello, Kathy, to come out of its braid? I don't even know. Has to be the humidity. I don't know. Maybe the humidity's undoing my braid. I have no idea. Anyway, it's just insanity to me. Hello, Orlando Debbie. So how hot is it down there? Because it is horrible here. It's absolutely vicious here. But anyway, it's the last day of July. Tomorrow is August, which that means it's going to be cool after that, correct? And hello, Barbara. Good to see you. Haven't seen you in a little bit. Haven't seen you in just a minute. Yeah, good to see everybody. And again, if you're brand new, please let us know. Hello, Sandy. Good to see you, because we would love, because we'd love to tell you hello. And hello, Mary. And John says, hey, at least it's hair. Yeah, because he ceased having hair a long time ago. But I don't know. It's just crazy. It just looks hilarious to me. I don't even know what would unbraid it. But anyway, and hello, Marlene. And so sorry that I did not post an official event for tonight. Hello, Bernice. And hello, Mary Ann from Pennsylvania. Sorry that I did not post an official event for tonight. We took Alyssa back to school shopping today, and Casey thought it would be a great idea, hello, Katie, for it to be me, the other grandmother, Dita. So I'm Nona, Dita, and Mom to go with Alyssa. It was fun once we all finally got together. Hello, Katie. Yeah, Dita had to work a little bit. Hello, Sandra from Naperville, Illinois. Dita had to work. Nona was busting it in from church. Alyssa fell asleep before we got done. It was hilarious. Anyway, so sorry I did not get the official event posted, but we had grandma stuff to do. Okay, so let's get going though. Today is Sunday, July the 31st. Tomorrow is August. This is chat number 282, and it is titled How to Put the F Back in Fitness. Y'all thought I was going to say something else. We have a little bit of news for the rest of July. Hello, Linda from Rock Island, Illinois. A little bit of news left for this last day in July. The first one is tomorrow's August. I've already said that like 3 times, but tomorrow is, hold on, Debbie says, oh, hold on a second, whose birthday is today? Oh, Sandra's granddaughter, Aubrey, her birthday is today. She's 7 years old. Everybody let her know happy birthday. Hello, Karen from East Tennessee. And Debbie says, y'all look great, and Alyssa sleeping and shopping. Yes, for sure. Okay, so tomorrow is August the 1st. That means we have 115 days until Thanksgiving. Didn't think about that, did you? 146 days until Christmas, and 153 days until 2023. Puts life in a whole new perspective, doesn't it? So what are you all going to do with your next 115, 146, and 153 days? Yeah, because things are going to start happening fast. Okay, and hello, Kendall from Oak Ridge. It's good to see you. Kendall, we're going to be making something fun here at Casey Kitchen Center this week, so be prepared. I'm not planning on having another crazy week like last week and not getting to make anything. Hello, Hattie. We're going to make some stuff this week, Kendall, so be prepared. Okay, the second thing is, on the recent update of the WW app, it does allow those of you who checked diabetic or pre-diabetic during your assessment, it allows you to track your sugar levels. So if you haven't checked it out yet, and I encourage you to do so. So if you haven't let your WW app update, and if you had checked diabetic or pre-diabetic on there, I suggest you go check that out. And we do have several group experts over on the If You Have an Egg closed group. So if you need some help with that, if you need to know, how to kind of what to do with that or how to use that, you can go on over there and they will help you out. And Debbie just said that she has already seen pumpkin and Halloween stuff at TJ Maxx. Oh my gosh, that's too hilarious. Oh, I didn't even say how many days it was till Halloween. I'll have to go back and figure that out for next time. And then the last thing is August is National Wellness Month, in case you didn't know that. And one of the suggestions that I found on WebMD is it's both a good one, it's a good suggestion, and it is one of the top subtopics of this week's chat. So you'll have to stay tuned for that. If you are brand new, this is a 1 hour long chat. Sorry, you got to listen to me chat for an hour. Hold on a second. Okay, Katie says she likes being able to track her sugar levels in the app and it makes her track. That is awesome. That is a great update to the app. But if you are watching this first, if it's your first time, A, let us know because we would love to welcome you. And B, this is a 1 hour long chat. The first half of this chat will be whatever the WW topic was from the previous week. It's kind of like, doing your homework. It's doing your classroom portion of it. And then the second half is usually something fun because I was out having fun with my daughter, granddaughter, and the other grandmother today doing back to school shopping. It's just going to be a lot of talking for the whole entire hour. Hello, Marlene from Florida, but I hope you will stick with me because it's still an important topic. Okay, first thing I need to know, first thing I need to do is say hello to Kim. Hello, Kim, how are you? And aloha to Kathy. Need to do that too. And hello to Myra. So we got people sneaking in here. But I need to know who sat their bottom in a chair. Give me a thumbs up if you sat your bottom in a chair. And y'all are so funny. You're obsessed with my earrings. These are earrings that I got here at Casey Kitchen Center during one of our pop-up markets. I love local artists and local people. And hello, Gina. So give me a thumbs up if you went to an in-person workshop last week. I did. So I'm going to give myself a thumbs up. So thumbs ups for in-person workshops or for attending Zoom workshops last week. Yep, and Linda's bottom was in a green chair again. Yep, and there's Gina. Oh, Katie's thumbs ups and hearts. And give me hearts if you attended here with us live last week, or if you watched later on demand, and that's just on YouTube. You can go to youtube.com and search If You Have an Egg. And we now have 281 chats posted, plus some other videos. There's some other handfuls of videos sprinkled in there. And hello, Tabitha, good to see you. Yep, and Kendall, yes, Dusty is right there. He is right there. So sometimes he gets up and wiggles around during the chat. And hello, Sylvia. But yes, he is with me today. Why do you even ask that? That's a weird question. Okay, so thumbs ups and hearts for attending. So bravo to everyone who went to their workshops this week, or who attended a Zoom workshop or watched with us last week. Oh, and Barbara weighed in last week. I know. Oh, hold on a second. What? Debbie says, hard to believe she's going back to school. Oh, we figured out a way to not age. Correct. Yes, that is correct. And hello, Lynn. Good to see you. And hello, Linda. Good to see you too. So bravo stickers to everyone who attended your workshops last week and who or did Zoom workshops or was with us last week. So we're winding up this month of Living Flexibly. So this is the last Sunday that we're going to be talking about living flexibly. And when I tell you what your homework is for this week, cannot wait to see what Casey figures out for a graphic this week, because I don't know what she's going to do. Wait till you see what your homework is. But last week, y'all had allowed me to rest my voice for an entire week. Thank you very much. Still just a teeny tiny bit, but I think it's much, much, much better. So thank you for letting me rest it last week. The topic for last week, though, was probably the most controversial, other than when we switch systems. So when we switched from Points Plus to, what did we go to next? We went from Points Plus, and there is a chat for that. There is actually a chat that tells you all the point systems or all the tracking systems throughout the ages. So if you go to youtube.com, search If You Have an Egg, and go back to that, you can see all the different, I'll show you almost all of the different systems that we've been on. But this is one of the most controversial subjects, and that is the one of putting the points back or adding points back into your day. And so last week we talked about the 3 different ways that you can add points back. So gone are the days where you start with a certain number of points every day and it just keeps going down. So some of you are extremely excited that you can add back points to your day. Some of you are extremely excited that you can, you can hit that 0 points in your day, or you can hit a negative point of points in your day, and that you can add some back to get back above 0. Some of you are very excited about that, and some of you are very distraught over the thought of adding back any points and then what to do with them, after that. So I just asked everyone to remain calm. I asked everyone to have an open mind about this. It's okay. You do not have to use all of the points. So if you do add back some points, or like I don't use my activity points. Right now, we currently have no way, unless you just don't have a fitness tracker and don't have it linked or don't track any of your activity. Right now, there is no way to take your activity points earned off of your dailies or off of your weeklies. So I just deal with it, okay? I just don't use them. I just know they're there and I don't use them. So I ask everybody just to be patient, just to take a breath. You don't have to use them. Nobody said if you earned 30 points, hello, Loretta. Nobody said if you earned 30 points eating vegetables that you have to eat that 30 points later, okay? So the first way to add back points is to add back 1 point with 60 ounces of water. So yes, it has to be plain water. I got a lot of discussion on that last week. Some of you all were shocked. Did you all not know this? Did you not know that it had to be plain water? So it is not water with fruit added to it. It is not water with Crystal Light or anything else added to it. It's just plain water, and it has to be plain water, okay? No, you don't have to participate. So if you don't want to drink plain water, if you just absolutely cannot gag down plain water, then don't do it. There's literally nothing that says that you have to do it. And then also, yes, if you drink more than 60 ounces of water consistently, I know Indiana was one of the people that didn't know. If you drink more than 60 ounces of water consistently, you will not only add back 1 point to your day, you will also get in some extra steps running to the bathroom. So yeah, so you don't have to use that point, but you can add back 1 point that way. You can add back points with activity. And again, if you've been doing this for a long time, so there was a time when certain activities, especially if they were high aerobic activities, or like when Karen and I would be, walking a lot, we would earn lots and lots and lots of points. That's gone, okay? So it's a much more manageable number. So it's easy for me to go, oh yeah, okay, I earned 4 or 5 activity points today. I won't use those, and I'll just let those keep rolling over and don't use those. But it's a great way to reward yourself. I do like to see those points go back on there. I don't know. I just think it's fun to see them go back on there. But it's a great way to reward yourself with some mood boosting, movement. I think it's a great way to add back some points. And then adding back as many hello, Penny. Hello, Penny. It's good to see you. And again, if you all see any new people on here, because there's quite a few more people than on a normal week live. And that's weird because I didn't post an official an official event on here since we were back to school shopping with Alyssa. But anyway, oh wait, Lori? Oh no. Lori is from Kentucky, oh god, goodness. She's from Kentucky and she's in the flood area. So if everybody will just check on Lori and check on your other Kentucky friends, that would be fantastic. I haven't talked to my Christy to see where she's at, in all of this, but yeah, so if y'all see some new people here, please welcome them. Please encourage them to say hello. And then y'all do please check in on Lori. That is terrible. If y'all haven't seen the news, Kentucky is just like, it's ravaged right now from the rain. We've been so lucky with these storms that they've kind of, they've been kind of hit or miss, and we've not had any, of the devastation that they've had. But so adding back some points with non-starchy vegetables, super easy. You can, just add a cup at a time. You can add it to a salad. You can add it to soup. You should eat them as vegetables though. I'm not encouraging you to blend them and try to use them in something else, because those points, it's just going to fill you up. Okay. If you add them back as leafy spinach instead of as blended spinach, it's really going to fill you up. So your homework for this week was flex your points bank. And I wanted you to pick one way that you were going to add back at least 1 point one day this week. So I wasn't asking a lot, okay? I didn't ask you to add back points every single day, just one day this week. Pick one way to add 1 point. And Mary Ann flexed her points bank this week with water, and she checked out some new exercise routines on YouTube. So Mary Ann, if you were here, I would love for you to let us know what you found on YouTube, because I know that has been a great resource for people trying to find some new ways to exercise and some things that would fit in with their routine, and maybe even be able to do them from home. So she did check out some new exercise routines on YouTube and flexed her points bank. Deanna reminds us that flexing your points bank doesn't always have to be on a treadmill, okay? So this week she enjoyed adding back some of those points by walking at the zoo. Sometimes she walks at the mall. Sometimes she walks while she's shopping. It doesn't just have to be on it. You don't just have to be jogging on a treadmill. You can flex your points bank by adding back some activity points, doing something fun like going to the zoo. And then Julie had lunch at Olive Garden one day this week, and she added back points with her salad. She had weeklies that she had added back from working out, and she had already earned her 1 point for drinking 60 ounces of water that day. So she fit everything into her plan for that day with her regular 14. So she gets 14 points for the day. Plus she had 3 dailies that she had added back. Easy peasy. You know what I mean? Easy peasy. She didn't have to feel guilty about Olive Garden, period at all. Okay. And Marianne said she's been doing the senior stretching and walking videos. So awesome. Yeah. Y'all, we should go look those up. But bravo to everyone who did their homework this week. Good job, ladies. And gentlemen, I'm so proud of you all for, for winding down this summer. I know summer's not over yet, but, for winding down this summer. A lot of y'all are headed back to school. Y'all have been doing such a good job in your homework. Seeing you school teachers are getting ready because you've been doing your homework too. So good job on that. This week though, this week's topic is how to put the F back in fitness. And I so wanted to name this week's chat F words. But I knew y'all would never believe that that's what the chat was going to be, okay? Just because y'all know me, okay? So you knew that I wasn't going to actually be doing F words. Okay, so this is all going to be about F words, though. Fitness. F words for fitness. And we're going to put the F back in fitness. So it feels like, though, I swear, it feels to me like we talk about exercise, fitness, moving, or some similar topic to that every other month. Is it just me, or does it seem like we're talking about that a lot? Apparently, getting our behinds up off the couch or from the work home office desk chair, is pretty important, right? It must be important because we've talked about it a lot so far this year. Sitting for extended periods of time can be accredited to higher risks of diabetes, heart disease, and even death. Death? What? Excuse me? Death? So I'd heard, Gwen tells us all the time that sitting is the new smoking, but accredited to death, just sitting for extended periods of time. Yeah. And with so many of us working remotely from home, the risk is increased exponentially. Okay. So so many people are working from home. I think that's why we've been talking so much here lately about mental health, about physical activity, movement, anything, just getting up and moving. I think it's because there's so many of us that are working from home, and you're just not getting out like you did. So what can you do? You can put the F back in fitness. The first one is fitness can be fast. Okay. According to an article from WebMD, they're encouraging employers to engage their employees in physical activity every single day during the workday. So Kendall, guess what we're going to start doing this week? During that article, it says exercise has traditionally been something employers expected workers to do on their own time. Okay, now we realize that incorporating bursts, and I want you to pay attention to the word bursts. Incorporating bursts of movement during the day is essential. If possible, it's even better for employees to step outside of the office for the activity. Oh no, and Barbara's neighbor lost her brother. I'm so sorry about that, Barbara. But they say that if possible, it's even better for employees to step outside of their office for the activity. What if you're working from home right now? Where are you going to go? Okay. Offer ways for employees to move more at work, including walking meetings. That's what we're doing, Kendall. We're going to start having walking meetings, that 10 o'clock meeting. Get ready. We're going to start walking while we're doing it. Lunchtime strolls, step challenges, and rewards for not using the elevator or things like that. Okay. So a burst could be walking to the mailbox, or it could be carrying a load of laundry up, or for us here at Casey Kitchen Center, a burst of activity could be taking estimates up to Chris instead of waiting for him to come and collect them at the end of the day. And then notice it said during the day, not once a day. Okay, so short bursts, and we've really been talking about that a lot lately, doing shorter bursts of activity or smaller, ranges of activity, things like that, instead of these long haul, if you don't do it for an hour, it doesn't count, and if you don't sweat, doesn't count. If you don't throw up, you didn't do it right. We're talking a lot about these little short times, and they specifically used the word burst, which I thought was a good one. The next one is fitness can be flexible. So the definition of flexible, if you use it as an adjective, is capable of being bent, usually without breaking, or susceptible of modification or adaptation, adaptable, so like a flexible schedule, or willing or disposed to yield or pliable. So you can be flexible in your fitness by adapting a schedule if something else changes, like if you change jobs, or if you move, or if the person that you worked out with, whatever, if they moved, kids graduate, going back to school, you're going to have to be flexible. So you can be flexible in your fitness. You can also, though, be flexible in the movement itself by doing something like stretching. So we've been talking about stretching. I don't know if you've noticed everything on your WW app. If you go ahead, don't go right now, don't get off the chat, but after the chat, if you will go back to your WW app. Hold on a second. Carol Lou says, no, been working from home and was finally able to go into the office tomorrow, but her husband tested positive for COVID. No, the humanity. Oh my goodness. Okay. Anyway, so if you go to your WW app and look down through some of the the exercise things, or if you use some of those tools to do searches, and you can search on stretching, there are tons of like 5 minute, 10 minute, less than 10 minute ideas for stretching. So and if you're one of the people that's working from home right now, why don't you try to incorporate some stretching in your day? WebMD also says we all need to stretch to counteract the effects of the day, whether we've been sitting at a desk for hours, working on our feet, so like if you've been just standing still working on your feet, or simply trying to overcome all of the stress that we've taken in. And they said it may feel silly at first, but if you're holding a long meeting, build in some group stretch breaks, like get everybody up during the meeting to do some stretching, or as part of a wellness update, suggest stretches and yoga poses that employees can do on their own time. I think it's a great idea, and it can calm the mind, it can lower blood pressure, and it can slow your heart rate, and hopefully avoid the death, okay? The risk of death that we heard about up here just from sitting too long. And then lastly, the last F is fitness can be free. It absolutely can be free. You do not have to pay a lot of money to a gym. You don't have to travel far, and do things. It can be absolutely free. So do you already own a pair of shoes and a dog? Walk the dog. Maybe walk the dog a little farther than he would have walked before. Don't just open the door and let him out. Maybe take him for a little walk. Do you already have 2 cans of soup or a couple of bottles of water? You could do some arm exercises. Just maybe during commercials, you could get up and do some arm exercises. And if you have 5 minutes, do you have 5 minutes? You could do some stretching. So we're going to do some now. Okay, because I purposely left us about, not 5 minutes, but a couple of minutes so we could do some stretching. So I want everybody to stand up. If you're sitting down watching this, stand up. Sorry, I had to get a quick drink of water. Okay, so y'all let me know when you're standing up. And these are going to be super simple. So the first thing I want you to do is literally just take your hands and go above your head and stretch back as far as you can. You don't have to stretch back far, just go back as far as you can. You don't have to go up on your tippy toes if you're not used to doing we're not doing yoga. Okay, Hattie's up. Patty's ready. And then just stretch your arms back. And Sherry's ready. So we're not doing anything fancy in yoga. We're just literally all you're doing is just stretching your shoulders out. Stretch them back. And then stretch your arms back. Okay? And you're just loosening up your shoulder muscles. Now, tilt your head to the side. If you want to apply a little pressure, you can, but we're just trying to stretch. Just kind of let your head hang there. Drop it to the center. Go to the other side. And then lean back. And it's hard to be tense. It's hard to still be tense from the day if you're doing this. And then the last thing is, I want you to bend over as far as you can. And if you can only touch your knees, then only touch your knees. If you can bend over farther than that, if you can touch the front of your calves, do that. If you're pretty flexible and can go all the way down to your toes, do that. But while you're doing that, let your head hang loose and let your arms hang loose. Just let everything, when you're doing that, let everything just hang loose. Don't force it. Don't clench. Don't tighten yourself up. Just kind of relax. So that last one, Dusty and I do that every single night before we go to bed. I have a really bad issue with my toes cramping while I'm asleep, and I take an iron supplement for that. I don't take much medication, it's not medication, but I do take an iron supplement and potassium for that. But if Dusty and I, every night before I go to bed, if I'll just do that one stretch for just a couple of minutes and kind of let everything hang there, just let it hang there and be loose. I don't know why, but it helps my toes, and it just kind of releases a little bit of the tension. Okay, so fitness can be free. So this week's homework is flex your flexibility. Good luck, Casey. Good luck making some kind of a badge for that. So it's hashtag FLEXYOUR FLEXIBILITY. Flex your flexibility. So what I want you to do for your homework this week is I want you to, this one of two things. So I want you to either pick I want you to pick one way that you can be flexible in your fitness. So maybe it's getting up a few minutes earlier. Maybe it's changing the route that you go, like if you're walking, or, changing the route. Maybe it's finding a new friend to do something with, just something. Do something flexible, like instead of saying, well, I can't go because it's raining, or I can't go because it's storming outside, or I can't go because my friend can't go today, or I can't, whatever. I want you to pick either A, that you're going to be flexible on whatever you're going to do, or B, that you're going to be flexible like we just were with the stretching. And you're either going to, thank you, Lynn, for posting that, you're either going to get up from your desk, your couch, out of your car, preferably park your car first if you're going to do that. Like if you have to drive, if you got a long commute, or if you drive for work, maybe pull over and get out of your car and do this. And I want you to stretch every hour for during your work day, travel day, whatever it is, for just one day this week. So you don't have to do it all 7 days, but one day. Either I want you to be flexible on your activity, like be flexible with what time you're going to do it, or be flexible with who it's going to be or where it's going to be, be flexible. Or B, you're going to, for one day this week during your work time, whatever your designated time is, so like for 7 or 8 hours, you're going to get up once every hour from your desk, couch, office chair, home office chair, out of your car, whatever, and stretch. And again, what was that? A minute? That was 1 minute worth of stretching. And then let us know how you did. So don't forget to tag me in that. On Instagram, it's at IfYouHaveAnEgg. Here on the Facebook page, at IfYouHaveAnEgg. Let's see. Hold on a second. Patty says this has been a game changer for her with foot, leg cramps, key nutrients, electrolytes powder. Oh, okay. Oh, that's cool. It's an electrolyte powder. That's awesome. I'll check that out. Yeah, that sounds really, really good. And it looks like it's even flavored lemonade. So yeah, Patty, thank you. I'll check that out later. But I want you to do your homework this week. Sylvia says 8 hours or 12 hours. So I'm going to say like 8 hours. Okay. So make it just a work day. And if you work, that's great. If you don't work, let's just try to make it like an 8-hour work day. Okay. And Carol Lou says that setting the alarm on her fitness ring every hour to get up, she's going to set it right now to stretch and walk. Okay. So do your homework. So Carol Lou, should I just count you as already doing your homework this week? Should I already count you for that? Sounds like you've already been doing it. Okay. We are at the 30-minute mark. So everybody go ahead and get your drink of water. And if you're brand new, we do all need to get a drink of water, whether it's plain water, trying to get to your 60 ounces so you can add back 1 point for the day, or if it's going to be water with something in it. And thank you, Sandra, for that reminder. So today I actually have frozen blackberries in mine. I still have, I think, 6 quart-sized bags of frozen blackberries over here. So, oh, and look, a fruit fly figured out that I have blackberries. Thank you, Barbara. Okay, so everybody get your drink of water. And even though we are not cooking anything today, I'm going to go ahead and put on my apron so that Casey knows where the second half is. And if you are not used to our chats, You'll know if you go back to watch this later. So if you're watching this later here on Facebook, or if you're watching it from IfYouHaveAnEgg.com, or if you go to YouTube.com, search IfYouHaveAnEgg to watch the chats, you'll know if you just want to see the second half of it. So if you just want to see the extra credit portion of it, you'll know where it starts because I'll be putting the apron on. Casey also divides these into 2 separate videos. So if you, if you think, oh man, I forgot what we made last week, or we made something good, or we talked about something I want to go back and see, you'll know because they're in 2 separate videos, and you do not have to sit and watch or listen to the entire 1 hour again. Okay, but this week, sorry we're not making anything. Again, we took Alyssa back to school shopping today, and I came rolling back in here like 2 hours before the chat and went and walked with Karen. So we're just talking tonight, okay? But I think this is an important topic, so I hope that you will, pay attention. We have spent this entire summer talking about ways that you can save money because prices just keep going up. Even though gas prices here in Knoxville, here in East Tennessee, have gone down a little, the food prices are going up. Eating out at restaurants is going up. Bringing home your groceries is going up. It seems like everything is going up. All transportation is everything, all of it, it's all going up. So we've spent this entire summer talking about ways to save money. So we've talked about reducing your energy bill. We've talked about food preparation. We've talked about how to buy groceries. We've talked about, we just talked about a bunch of different things. Last week we had, Loretta said, except our pay. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, everything's gone up except our pay. Last week, though, we had some expert advice so Karen just reminded me that August is tax-free. It's tax-free for food in Tennessee. That saves us, I think food is 6%, so it saves a tiny bit of money. But tonight, we're going to talk about ways to save on the food that you just saved money on from the tax-free month, okay? So, the next round of storms is rolling in, so fingers crossed we will still stay on and that we will still be alive tonight. But, and it's super windy, so if I lose you, I'll just keep recording and you can come back and watch this later. I don't know if y'all can hear that or not, but super loud outside right now. Okay, so tonight we're going to be talking about, during this summer of savings, tonight we're talking about saving money by reducing food waste. So again, wasn't kidding when I said we were going to talk about ways to save money all summer long. So reducing food waste. Do you know what the easiest way to reduce food waste is? Does anybody have any guesses? Anybody want to guess? Anybody? Oh yeah, Deanna says she can hear it. Can you hear? Y'all can hear those raindrops, right? So sorry about that. Here, actually, I will move. Tell you what I'll do. I will move the microphone a little bit closer to me. Oh, and y'all can see it now. So move it a little bit closer to me so that maybe y'all can hear me more than the rain. But anyway. So, okay, so does anybody know what's the number one way to reduce food waste? Anybody? Anybody? Yep, and you're most welcome, Debbie. Tabitha, it's just a lot of rain. It's just a lot of rain and some wind, so we're not supposed to be in one of the really bad, areas, so I'm not super worried about it tonight. Okay, so the number one way to reduce food waste is to not throw it away. Okay, that's a good idea, Tag. Yeah, Tag says use leftovers, but the number one way to reduce food waste is to not throw it away, okay? Which using leftovers could be a way. Don't overbuy. Mary, that's something that we're going to talk about. That's a great idea. Eat at home. Sylvia, those are great ideas. Barbara says eat it before it goes bad. It's like you all are psychically listening, psychically reading the notes here. Tabitha says prep your food as soon as you get home. That's great. Penny says canning and freezing. Yeah, y'all are all over it. So those are all things that we're going to talk about tonight. All of those are things that we're going to be talking about tonight. So awesome, y'all are already on board for this. So the number one way, yeah, and Carol Lou says don't buy things you're not going to eat. So true. So true. I'm going to talk about that as well. So the number one way to reduce your food waste is to not throw it away. Okay. So here are some ideas on how to not throw food away. Number one, and somebody just said it again, don't buy in bulk if you don't need it, okay? Guilty as charged. So I have let my Sam's and my And Take says, you've been focusing on this, so do I guess we are learning. Yes, you are, and I'm learning with you. You know, I learn these things as I'm, you know, as you all are learning too. So guilty as charged. I have let my Sam's and my Costco membership, I've let them lapse because John and I by ourselves cannot consume enough food to make it worth going to either Sam's or Costco. When we were using it to buy food for us, for ourselves, for here at Casey Kitchen Center, for Casey and Alan, and for my mom, sure. But now that John and I are literally just buying groceries for ourselves, we got other things we can do. We don't need to use. We don't need all. You know, we don't need all that food. So we have stopped buying in bulk when we don't need it. You know, like even bread, like we don't need, John and I can't consume, we like bread. I mean, we do buy low carb tortillas, we do buy some other things, but sometimes we just want bread. So we have stopped buying an entire loaf of bread, and now we have something here. I don't know if it's just here in Knoxville, but we have a company that just makes half loaves of bread. So if we want bread, we just buy a half loaf. Okay. So, you know, we just buy that. Sam's Club, don't go anymore. Buy one, get one free deals. I've stopped participating so much because normally the buy one, get one free on the food, it has to be something pretty special, something that we eat a ton of, you know, for us to, for us to even use that. We have, and I'm thinking that my phone is gonna die, so I'm hoping that I can still see you all. Hello Sherry, I'm just hoping I can still see you all talking on the other screen. So yeah, getting ready to go into low battery mode on the phone because don't know why. Anyway, but buy one get one free deals, unless it's something that I'm 100% sure that we're gonna eat, or that I can put in the freezer, or that I can prep in some other way. I've stopped participating in those two because, you know, so I want to save money. See, like Marianne double wraps her bread and freezes it. I cannot eat already frozen bread. If you can, fantastic. That is a great way to save money. But it's, you know, like a buy one, get one free deal. I always thought, oh, I'm saving money because I'm buying one and I'm getting one free. And then when I throw the second one away, what money did I save? I didn't save any, you know, just didn't save any money. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing is, I want you all to pay attention to me. I want you to know the difference between an expiration date, an actual expiration date on food, versus a use by, best when used by, you know, date like that, before you throw out perfectly good food. So I see people all the time that are throwing away milk. Milk is the number one thing that I see thrown away before it's gone bad. Okay, so milk is dated with a best by, like a best when used by or a use by date. And I actually had a chat with one of the Mayfield milkmen here in Knoxville. So Mayfield is a famous, you know, whatever, that's our milk people around here is the Mayfields. So I talked to one of the Mayfield milkmen one day at Weigel's, and I said, so what is that date? I said, because, you know, like every day when I come in here, these are all like coming up pretty soon. And he said, no, that's our suggested date that it's purchased by. So he said, we suggest that you purchase it by X day. That is not an expiration date. So on milk specifically, that date is set for quality. It's like for the best quality. So for the best quality, you should either purchase this milk by, and it has a date on there that says purchased by such and such, or used by such and such. And that's an indication. That is not an indication of when you need to throw it out. So don't throw out your milk if just because it gets to that date. Okay, that's just for the best quality. You should either purchase it by or use it by that date. Unopened milk generally is good for another 5 to 7 days past its listed date, whatever the date is listed. Open milk will last for 2 to 3 days after that. So, you know, if the date was tomorrow, if it was August the 1st, if the best purchased by date was August the 1st, don't throw it away on August 1st, okay? Let's see what does Leslie do? Leslie cuts up her last couple of slices of bread and freezes them or makes them into croutons. Fantastic. So she's making them into bread crumbs or croutons, or she's using them to make hamburgers. Perfect. That is perfect. Okay, canned vegetables can still be good for up to 1 to 2 years beyond their expiration or use by date. Avoid dented or open cans though. So that doesn't mean if you've already opened the can or if the can is dented, please do not follow that advice if it is dented or if it's already open. But an unopened, stored, depending on how you stored it, like, you know, if you stored it in a cabinet or something in a cool place, it can be 1 to 2 years after that date on the bottom that you can still use that. Yogurt, I found myself sniffing a container of yogurt this week, and I thought, how do you even know? I mean, it was already past its best by date, but I thought, how do you even know if yogurt is bad? It already smells sour before you ever open it anyway. But depending on how it was made and where you stored it, so like if you left it in your car for 2 hours before you brought it in and put it in the refrigerator, that's a different amount of time than if you brought it straight in and put it in the refrigerator. But depending on how it was made and how it was stored, yogurt can actually last for up to 1 to 3 weeks beyond its best by date. This yogurt, the best by date on it, I think was July 20th, and I think I ate it on the 27th. Still perfectly fine. Still tasted just like yogurt. But if you want more information on expiration dates versus best by dates versus used by dates versus best when purchased by dates, whatever, on any specific food. So like if you're thinking, Kelly's got me curious now. I wonder what the date is on my, I don't know, pick something, my apple cider vinegar, because I see that right here. Okay? Or on popcorn, on whatever. If you need more information on that, you can go to www.eatbydate.com, and Jessica will post that on the IfYouHaveAnEgg.com when she posts these notes. So you don't have to remember that. You don't have to run and go grab something and write it down, but it's www.eatbydate.com, and you can look up some pretty specific things like baking soda and sugar and probably apple cider vinegar. I didn't look, but now that I see it, spices, I'm sure those are all on there, but you can go there and look for that. Okay, somebody mentioned food preservation a few minutes ago. So food preservation is another great way to not throw out food. So food preservation can mean things like these blackberries. I froze them. So when we bought all of these, we bought way too many blackberries. So I just said in the first note not to overbuy. I overbought on blackberries, okay? We could not possibly eat all that I bought in a short enough period of time for those not to go bad. So I froze them. So I did can some of them. We have, like these are canned. Like we hot water bath canned some of the blackberries, and then we froze the rest of them. So if you're not going to be, if you're not going to be using them in time, if it's something that, like if it was buy one get one free and you went ahead and got it, you bought the one and you're going to use it now, but you don't have any anticipation of when you're going to use the free one, freeze it if it's something that you can freeze. So freezing is a great way to preserve foods, if you're not going to use them, as quickly as you thought you were going to. If you do have something like I'm pointing the wrong direction. I never know which way to point. Like a pressure canner. So I will be pressure canning, still continuing to pressure can, quite a few things, or hot water bath can if that's, that makes more sense. But some things like soups. So we're going to be doing soups this year. We're doing the ground turkey or the ground chicken that Julie talked to us about last week. We're going to be doing that this week and using that in some things, in the pressure canner to make so that they don't go bad. So that's a good way to do food preservation. You can do fermenting, you can do pickling, you can do drying. You can dry some of your fruits and vegetables and then either just eat them in their dried form, or you can go. Oh yeah, okay, so Leslie says when fresh fruit, berries mostly, or they're on sale, on sale or cheaper, that she buys extra and freezes them, washes them and freezes them. Perfect. Yeah, and blueberries freeze perfectly, like in the container that you get them in. So crazy. But again, you can do pressure canning, you can do freezing, you can do fermentation. Do any of you all ferment anything? Do you all do any fermentation? So I've tried it. Okay, Karen just finished canning salsa and rotel. Perfect. That is perfect. Bourbon says make jam or jelly with the fruit. Another great idea. But just some ways to preserve it further so that you don't, so you don't end up throwing it away. So I'm going to try to get back into the fermenting thing. Didn't really, we tried it a couple of times. Didn't really wrap my head around it, so that's going to be one of the things that I'm going to be working on later. I want to try some pickling, and I definitely want to do some more things in the pressure canner because that was fun. and I definitely want to do that. Okay, so food preservation. And Debbie says she needs to learn how to can. Her mom was not a cook, and she's still learning. Yeah, me too, Debbie. Me too. So I went to the library and checked out some books. So we've got Kindle here at Casey Kitchen Center is piddling and canning. I'd love to too. My grandmother and my mother both canned a lot. So fortunately, I have a vague inkling of what to do, but they didn't actually teach me how to do it. So we are doing, we're doing that. And Take says she even uses her vegetable scraps. She puts them in a plastic bag in the freezer, and when it's full, she makes stock for soup. And she said it's funny how we adapt. That is so true. That is so very true. Okay, so lots of food preservation ideas. The next thing is using leftovers, and that's where I'm probably going to wrap up because it sounds like another storm is getting ready. Yeah, so another storm is coming. So I'm going to quickly talk about how to use leftovers. And then this 30-minute portion of the chat's probably only going to last about 20 minutes because I'm going to wrap up and get out of here before it starts storming too bad. So using leftovers, so things like potatoes, like if you had, let's say that you baked potatoes and, you made them in your air fryer and you made too many and you had leftovers, you can use those to make potato soup. You can use leftover potatoes to make mashed potatoes. That's a great way to use leftover potatoes. You can also use them to make like potato pancakes. Has anybody ever made potato pancakes? You can use sweet potatoes and regular potatoes to make potato pancakes. Those are great ways to use up leftover potatoes. So don't throw them away. Make them into soup. Or baked potato salad. That sounds good. Well, Leslie's making me hungry. That sounds really good. A baked potato salad. So yeah, so how do you all use leftover potatoes? Or if they're starting, to get a little soft, you can make some things like that. Yep, Barbara says homemade French fries. That's a perfect idea. So use them up. Do not throw them away. Stale bread. So we already had some people talk about stale bread. So yes, you could make croutons with it. Yes, you could use it to make breadcrumbs. Yes, you could use it to make, for your meatloaf or something like that. You can also use stale bread to make Wegos, in case any of y'all remember the Wego days. So I'm still having trouble finding fat-free ricotta cheese, and I'm just going to have to suck it up and get regular light part skim ricotta cheese because I am missing eating some Wegos. But you can use stale bread to make Wegos. You can use stale bread to make croutons. You can use stale bread to make, and the Wegos recipes are all already on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. You can use stale bread to make a breakfast casserole. I have a recipe for one of those on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. You can use it to make, bread pudding, which is fantastic. But there are so many ways to use, stale bread. I'm not talking moldy bread. I'm talking stale bread. So don't throw it away. There are lots of ways to use stale bread. Now, if you're like me and you're bad about opening cans of beans, corn, pumpkins, things like that, Barbara says use it for the bread for stuffing. You totally could do that. But if you're like me and you're bad about opening cans of beans cans like beans, corn, pumpkin, things like that. I know we've talked about this several times on the pumpkin. When I open a can, I rarely ever need an entire can of pumpkin, and so I have started using the super cubes to freeze 1/2 cup and 1 cup portions of pumpkin so that I've got it ready to go when I need it, but I don't feel like I have to open it and throw away part of a can of pumpkin. Beans and corn, things like that. If you open it and if you only use a little bit of it, you could add some like garbanzo beans or black beans to your next salad. You could make a bean salad. You can add different kinds of bean and corn. To a mason jar, add some vinegar, a little bit of sweetener, and make like a tangy bean salad. You could totally do that. You can smash the beans. So if you've got leftover black beans and pinto beans, you can mash them up, cook them, mash them up, and you can make your own refried beans. You can, do that too. So there are lots of things that you can do with open cans of things. You don't have to just throw them, don't just have to throw them away. Okay. End of season fruits. So, end of season fruits, like they're winding down, they're starting to get kind of gangly, like I've got some little leftovers, little leftover jalapenos. And since it's the end of the season and it's so hot outside, like I've got one jalapeno that's, pretty decent size, and I've got one that's kind of scrawny. So end of season fruits, I've got a couple of little, like these little peppers left. So My mom loved to take end of season tomatoes. That was one of her favorite things to do, was to go pick the last of the tomatoes off the vine, slice them up. She cooked them on a baking sheet. I make them in the air fryer. And there is an end of season tomato recipe on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. Just a little bit of olive oil and some seasoning on there. And I'm not a huge tomato fan, but it tastes like candy. I don't know how to explain it, but when you slow roast tomatoes like that, oh my gosh, they're so good. Zucchini, we're getting to the end, believe it or not. Well, and remember, August the 8th is the day that we're all supposed to go out and take the zucchini that's coming out of our gardens and go, like drop it off on your neighbor's porch day. All kinds of things that you can make with zucchini, squash, eggplant, things that you're getting out of your garden. Those end of the season tomatoes, you can use the little cherry tomatoes or tomatos, or who else calls them tomatos? Just show me your hand. Show me your little virtual hand if you call the little tiny tomatoes tomatos like we do. Little grape tomatoes, things like that. You can totally, in the air fryer, you can make them into like roasted tomatoes. Yep, and Lynn wants to be one of your neighbors, one of our neighbors who is giving the who's giving away the zucchini. But you can do, yep, and Karen, well, Karen, you're from around here. Of course, you call them tomatos, and so does Barbara. Barbara, yep. Oh, well, that's awesome. You call them tomatos. But you can make like little roasted, tomatoes that you can use later, and so does Lisa. That is so cool. You can do that. You can use, oh my gosh, everything. The zucchini. I mean, you can make zucchini bread and then put it in the freezer. You can make zucchini pancakes, put it in the freezer. There's so much that you can do. There's so much that you can do with all of those leftover fruits and vegetables, or the ones that look kind of gangly, like the little scrawny ones, So that's not going to be a stuffed jalapeno of any kind. That's too skinny. It's too, it's too little. Or apples, like if we get apples that are, they're just a little, bruised or not as pretty, or, they have little tiny wormholes, or, no worms, just little wormholes, whatever. Then, we would take those and do baked apples. I mean, baked apples are a perfect way to get rid of apples that are just kind of a little bit past the, they're a little bit past their season. And y'all are talking about some great, fantastic recipes, with zucchini potato boats, or potato boat, pizza boats. Oh, and everybody is asking for zucchini. That is hilarious. So Leslie needs a zucchini neighbor also. So if you have lots of zucchini, find one of these people who needs the zucchini dropped off at their place. But there's lots of things that you can do with the end of season vegetables, and a lot of times they're not the prettiest. They're the smaller ones. So, make something with them. Don't just get rid of them. And then the last thing I'll talk about, and then it will be time to wind down, because I'm going to try and get ahead of this next this next storm. Oh yeah, and Marianne says baked apples and applesauce. Yeah, applesauce is another great way to go through some kind of gangly apples. But repurposing foods. So somebody said earlier leftovers. Leftovers are a great way. You can totally take leftovers. Make your own little TV trays. You can use your own little bento boxes. We've got the boxes here at Casey Kitchen Center for meal prep. Make your own TV dinners, with those. But you can take some of those foods and repurpose them. So like if you had leftover meatloaf, who has leftover meatloaf? I mean, we would just like eat all of it, okay? But if you had something like leftover meatloaf, you could take some of those gangly end of the season peppers, like green peppers, red peppers, yellow peppers, stuff them, make a little mixture with the meatloaf, maybe a little bit of rice or some cauliflower rice, pop that into the pressure cooker. Actually, now that I've said that, I think I want to try that this next week. And make some stuffed peppers, because if you're going to cook them down that much, who cares what they look like? Because you're just going to eat them, and they're going to be delicious. Or pop them into the freezer. You can use, there's so many things that you can use leftovers for. I think it's Julie in our group that does so many creative things with like spaghetti squash. So it seems like she's constantly taking something that they had at another meal and then combining it with the spaghetti squash, and making different, like tacos, and like a spaghetti squash taco or pizza, or all kinds of things. So leftovers, you don't have to just eat them as whatever the original meal was. If John and I if I make a roast, we make roast and potatoes and carrots and cabbage and things like that. So it's a roast the first day. The second day, it might be roast beef sandwiches. Maybe we just take out some of the meat and make roast beef sandwiches. At some point in that, though, it's going to be beef stew. because we're not gonna eat it as roasted potatoes and carrots and cabbage and mushrooms. We're not gonna eat it as that every single night. And I'm not buying a roast that's this big, but at some point it's gonna become beef stew. So just figure out some ways, to reuse those leftovers or to repurpose those leftovers instead of just throwing them away, or instead of just letting them sit in your freezer and get freezer burn. At some point this week, I'm going to be showing you how to use, I have some leftover shredded cheese. I've got some leftover homemade fat-free cream cheese. And I have these little lovelies left over out of the garden. And at some point this week, if we had not gone back to school shopping, I was going to show you how to tonight, but sorry, Alyssa needed some stuff. But I'm going to show you how to make homemade pimento cheese with that. So it's just leftover shredded cheese, some leftover cream cheese where I made some fat-free cream cheese, and some little peppers that we just got out of the garden. Gangly peppers, not big enough to stuff, but it'll make some darn good pimento cheese. So I encourage you to reduce your food waste by not throwing food away. Whatever you can think of to not throw it away. And throwing it away includes wrapping it up and putting it in your freezer, never to be seen again, okay? That includes throwing it away. So next week, at some point during this week, we are going to, we're going to go, and Barbara, she does not go back for a week and a half. And it's just preschool, but she still needed some stuff, because she's growing like a weed. But I encourage you at some point this week to try one of these. Now I want to make meatloaf so that I can make the peppers, the stuffed peppers. And at some point this week, I'll be showing you how to make the pimento cheese. And we will be doing showing you some things to make with the ground chicken breast. So stay tuned for that. I'm trying to learn how to do reels so that we can do some little shorter videos so that we don't have to have hour-long videos. But yeah, stay tuned for those. I'm going to go ahead and scoot because it has calmed down now, and I'm going to try and scoot home in between the storms. But yeah, y'all just keep your... There goes the thunder. So gonna wrap it up. But y'all have a great week. If you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and let that next video roll over. I promise you will enjoy it. And if you have not subscribed yet, please go ahead and click the subscribe button and then click the little bell so that you'll know when the next video comes up. But y'all have a great week. I will see you next time, and I'm gonna bust it home before this next storm comes through. But y'all have a great week, and I'll see you later. Good night.